What's up folks, Mike here at Welling Watches and welcome to the video. And in today's video we're going to be taking a quick look at a watch that I recently acquired that I'll potentially be looking to restore back to former glory, if not better. Now this watch was in a job lot of other timers and chronographs, but I particularly wanted this watch, and I was really glad that I got the lot for a really good price. But this one has absolutely no name brand on it whatsoever. Nothing on the dial, nothing on the casing, and nothing on the movement. But I did have my suspicions that this was a Guinand timer. I'm unsure of when it was produced, but I have been in contact with Guinand, who still exist today and produce some very nice wristwatches. And I've asked them if this is indeed one of their vintage timers, and if they could let me know A, if it is one of the vintage timers, and B, what the reference for the caliber movement is on the inside. So it'd be really great to have some information on it from the maker, but that's something to potentially look out for the future if they get back to me. Now the watch itself is in really good condition, which is surprising for the age, but it is in good condition. The movement is running and ticking away quite nicely. I've checked it on the time grapher and it has a really healthy beat to it. The dial is immaculate. There's no discoloration or hairline cracks or damage of any sort, and the casing is in pretty good condition as well, with some nice firm hinges, nothing loose and floppy. So overall I'm really pleased that I managed to pick up this watch as well as some of the other watches that were in the group, and it'd be nice to get this all done up in the future. But if we zoom in, we can see that it has 2 seconds. We get focus. It has 2 centiseconds for the split second timer. Then at 12 o'clock it has a 30-minute register. At the 6 o'clock it has continuous seconds. And then the outside registers of the main face are a 1-minute interval measured in seconds. So, a beautiful dial in excellent condition. The casing is actually made from steel, and it has this dark grey black kind of colour, and people often refer to this as gunmetal, but it isn't actually gunmetal. It is a steel case that has been given a black oxide chemical treatment. Gunmetal is actually a different type of metal. It's a mixture of different metals, so it is kind of an alloy, so to speak, but this is actually steel that's been given a black oxide chemical treatment, which was cheap and easy to do, although it was rather dangerous and toxic at the time. And the black oxide would have looked really nice when it was brand new, but over time and age it has a tendency to go to this kind of horrible tarnished colour, and it's not something that I care much for. So hopefully I'm potentially looking to get the main part of the case plated in either silver or a nice chrome finish. Now the split second button, the crown and pusher and the bow, they're all like a copper kind of finish. I'm not entirely sure what the metal is, if it's some sort of bronze alloy or it is copper itself. I'm not sure, but I think these particular parts can stay as they are and be cleaned up, and the main case can be given a nickel or silver plate to really bring out the potential of the watch itself. So that's the dial and the casing. There's no markings on the inside other than previous watchmakers' marks as for when it was serviced, but these are very hard to understand or make for the best of times. And the inner cover is also in a good condition, but again, nothing, if I can get it open, there's nothing on the inside of that either that would indicate who made it. The movement itself is quite nice, but it's very functional rather than any embellishments or high finishing, and that's fine with me because function is probably more important than finish in some cases. So it's a gilt finish movement, which is like a type of gold plating for the movement that helps keep it a nice colour. Now all the working parts themselves are actually in really good condition. There's no marks or scratches or damage to them, which is nice to see, because quite often a lot of these parts get marked or knocked or scratched by screwdrivers when they're being serviced. And the same with the screws throughout the movement, they're all pretty clean. There's no real damage to them. And we can see in the video that the balance is ticking away quite nicely. So it is a split second chronograph movement, and it only has 7 joules, but it functions, which is a good thing. But after a service, this should be really good tool watch. So that's the movement inside there. So overall, it's a really nice little watch and very interesting piece. No doubt if you were to try and buy something similar today, it would cost you a small fortune. You might have to take out a mortgage to get such a nice piece. But it's an interesting project, and when I do eventually get round to doing this watch, I will of course come back with an update video letting you all know out there what the outcome was, who the original maker was, if it is indeed Guinand as I believed, and if I managed to get the casing brought up to the kind of finish that I'd like, then we should have a nice watch at the end of the project. But until then, there will be more videos coming up in the future, but until they're ready, take care and have fun.